The story of the discovery of America is not a single moment, but a long, layered history. Long before Europeans sailed west, millions lived across the continents, builders of cities, roads, and complex societies. Olmec, Maya, Aztec, Inca, each with deep knowledge and culture. People arrived in the Americas at least 15,000 years ago, crossing from Asia over now submerged land bridges. They adapted to every landscape, from Arctic coasts to tropical forests and mountain plateaus. Around 1,000 CE Norse sailors reached North America, a brief documented contact at Vinland. By the 15th century, Ottoman control of eastern trade routes pushed Europeans to seek sea paths to Asia. Advances in navigation and shipbuilding made longer ocean voyages possible. The spirit of the Renaissance, curiosity, science, ambition, fueled exploration. Spain, seeking wealth and routes to Asia, funded one such voyage in 1492. An Italian navigator named Christopher Columbus set sail with 3 ships on August 3, 1492. Their crossing would change the world. On October 12, 1492, Columbus landed on an island in the Bahamas. He believed he had reached Asia, calling the islands the Indies. But these shores were home to diverse indigenous peoples, unknown to Europeans. Columbus made 4 voyages, exploring islands and coasts from 1492 to 1504. European awareness grew, but understanding lagged behind, until others began to realize these lands were not Asia. Soon the term New World appeared, and the name America was applied to these continents. What followed were voyages, encounters, trade, and conflict, with consequences across the globe. This is not a single story, but many intertwined ones. Next, the voyages, the maps, and the explorers who followed. Columbus's first voyage crossed the Atlantic in about 2 months, a risky ocean passage at the time. He sailed from Palos with the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. On October 12th, Columbus sighted land in the Bahamas. On later voyages, he explored Cuba, Hispaniola, parts of Central and South America, never realizing the true scale. Columbus made 4 voyages, dying in 1506, still convinced he had reached Asia. His voyages opened sustained contact between Europe and the Americas. Other navigators soon followed. John Cabot sailed for England to the North American coast in 1497. His expedition mapped parts of Newfoundland and surrounding coasts. He claimed lands for England, expanding European presence. Amerigo Vespucci voyaged along South America's coast and argued these lands were a separate continent. In 1507, a map labeled the new continent America in Vespucci's honor. The idea of a new world took hold in Europe. In 1513, Vasco Núñez de Balboa crossed Panama and became the first European to see the Pacific from the Americas. His sighting revealed the Americas' vastness from ocean to ocean. Ferdinand Magellan's expeditions circled the globe, proving oceans were connected and the world round. Exploration quickly turned to conquest. Hernán Cortés marched on Tenochtitlan in 1519. By 1521, the Aztec Empire had fallen. In 1532, 1533, Francisco Pizarro overthrew the Inca in the Andes. Conquest was aided by military technology, alliances, and strategic advantage. Local rivalries and European tactics shaped outcomes across regions. The human cost was profound and uneven across places. The Columbian Exchange moved plants like maize, potatoes, tomatoes, and cacao west to Europe and beyond. From Europe and Africa came wheat, horses, sugar, and new livestock. This exchange reshaped diets, economies, and ecologies on both sides. But also came diseases, smallpox, measles, influenza, to which indigenous peoples had no immunity. Entire communities were devastated, and some regions saw population losses of up to 90%. The demographic shock reshaped societies across continents. European powers negotiated claims. Spain and Portugal divided the New World in 1494. France, England, and the Netherlands soon established their own colonies and trading networks. Colonization reshaped global trade, politics, and migration patterns. Labor demands in the New World fueled the tragic expansion of the Atlantic slave trade. Millions of Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas over centuries. Their cultures mixed with indigenous and European traditions, creating new societies. New wealth from silver and crops transformed European economies and helped spur capitalism. Transatlantic trade became central to a globalizing world economy. Knowledge and maps circulated faster than ever, reshaping perceptions of the world. Advances in navigation, cartography, and shipbuilding continued to accelerate exploration. New maps integrated reports from many voyages, making the New World clearer to Europeans. The planet began to feel interconnected in unprecedented ways. The era of exploration set in motion centuries of change, political, ecological, and cultural. Yet indigenous peoples endured, resisted, adapted, and preserved cultures. Their histories remain central to understanding the continents today. Next, the deep impacts, ecological, demographic, cultural, that still echo today. We will examine the Columbian exchange, conquest, and ongoing stories of resilience. The Columbian exchange moved staple crops across oceans. Maize and potatoes transformed diets worldwide. These foods supported population growth in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Horses and cattle reshaped American landscapes and societies, but disease brought catastrophic losses. Some communities saw declines of up to 90%. This demographic collapse altered cultures, governance, and lifeways across regions. The human toll cannot be overstated. From these tragedies emerged new cultural forms, music, language, cuisine, and belief systems blending many roots. Indigenous cultures adapted and persisted, reclaiming traditions and languages. Today, a resurgence of identity and rights continues across the Americas. Columbus is remembered in different ways, as a navigator to some, and as a symbol of conquest and suffering to others. Historians and communities increasingly emphasize indigenous perspectives, and the term discovery is being reconsidered. Understanding is broader and more nuanced today. The age of exploration launched global trade networks, reshaping economies, politics, and the environment. We must hold both halves of the story, innovation and enrichment, alongside displacement and loss. The legacy is complex, painful, and also full of resilience. Today, the Americas are the product of countless peoples, movements, and exchanges. Indigenous voices continue to shape how we remember and learn from these histories. Their stories remain central. To learn more, read primary accounts, seek indigenous perspectives, and explore maps that trace these voyages. History is complex. Understanding it is ongoing. Thank you for watching.